Good day and welcome to our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. I am Mike Egobadio. Here are our top stories. Federal government unveils 7 herbal medicines for cancer, hepatitis B. Delta APC denies violence at stakeholders meeting. Nigerian net foreign liabilities rise to $90.2 billion. And on the foreign scene, Japan quake, death toll rises to 13 as rescue efforts continue. And talking sport, Nigerian Egypt qualify for ITTF World Youth Championship. Now to the news in full. The federal government has unveiled 7 locally developed herbal medicines for the treatment of management of conditions including cancer, hepatitis B, hypertension, ulcers, and high cholesterol, and a move aimed at boosting indigenous pharmaceutical innovation. Now, the medicines developed by the Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency was unveiled in Lagos by the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Dr. Kingsley Ude. The government says more than 22 herbal products have been developed from indigenous medicinal plants since 2023. Dr. Ode said Nigeria has the potential to produce and export natural medicines worth billions of naira while improving access to healthcare. He also pledged to establish a clinical observational research center and address funding challenges facing the agency. The agency's Director General, Professor Martin Umeje, said the products have been standardized into dosage form, such as capsules, tablets, and syringes, adding that the initiative could reduce drug importation, create millions of jobs, and also position Nigeria as a major exporter of natural medicines. The EFCC is facing fresh criticism over plans to manage the auction of seized vehicles through its own platform. Now, the Nigerian Association of Auctioneers said the move undermines transparency, accountability, and due process in the disposal of forfeited assets. The association argued that the anti-graft agency should not investigate financial crime, seize assets, retain custody of them, and also oversee their sale, describing the arrangement as a conflict of interest. It insists only licensed auctioneers should conduct such sales to guarantee fairness and public confidence. Now, the auctioneers also questioned why the FCC is abandoning previous contracted digital auction platform developed by independent auctioneers, saying the proposed process violates procurement rules and existing asset disposal laws. They warned that the agency planned approach could erode trust in Nigerians' asset recovery system. Now, the FCC has yet to respond to the allegation, while the Commission has traditionally disposed of forfeited assets through independent public auctions after court orders. The latest dispute centers on whether it should directly manage future auctions or continue to rely on licensed auctioneers. Now, away from that, talking politics, the Delta State chapter of the All Progressive Congress has denied reports of violence and chaos at its recent Delta State Central Stakeholders meeting in Efru, insisting the gathering was peaceful and orderly. Now, the party described the report as false and misleading, saying the meeting was attended by party leaders, broadcast live on national television, and concluded without any disruption. It also rejected a viral video linked to the incident, claiming it was recorded elsewhere within the Petroleum Training Institute complex and not the meeting venue. The APC further dismissed claims of internal leadership dispute, maintaining that the state executives were duly elected and recognized by the party's National Working Committee. It also accused a national newspaper of factual inaccuracies, including identifying the wrong state publicity secretary. Now, the party has given the newspaper 7 days to retract the report and issue an unreserved apology or face legal action. It says it remains focused on strengthening party unity and supporting the administration of Governor Sheriff Obodewori and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Osun Accord governorship candidate Ademola Adeleke has called on party members to intensify grassroots mobilization after the Court of Appeal affirmed the legal status of Accord party ahead of the August 15 governorship election. Adeleke described the judgment as a victory for democracy and the rule of law, saying the ruling confirmed that the party remains legally recognized and ready for the election. He urged party leaders, youth, women, and supporters to step up campaigns across polling units, ward, and communities to secure victory at the polls. A court of appeal had earlier nullified a federal high court judgment directing INEC to deregister the Accord Party and 4 other political parties, ruling that the lower court lacked jurisdiction to hear the case. And talking business, Nigerian net foreign liabilities rose by about $7.5 billion to about $90.2 billion in 2026, as foreign investors claim on Nigerian assets grew faster than the country's investment abroad, according to the Central Bank of Nigeria. Now, the CBN International Investment Position Report shows external assets stood at $125.6 billion, while foreign liabilities increased to $215.8 billion, driven largely by higher foreign investments in government debt and Nigerian companies. The report also revealed that Nigerian foreign reserve asset increased by $5.6 billion, strengthening the country's external buffers, while Nigerian investment abroad also recorded modest growth. Economists, however, warn that Nigerians' growing reliance on short-term foreign capital could expose the economy to external shocks, urging the government to attract more long-term investment, expand low-oil, non-oil export, and strengthen foreign exchange reserves. A fresh industrial dispute is brewing in the Nigerian aviation sector as aviation workers has given airline operators and other organizations 7 days to remit outstanding 5% tax or ticket sales charge of its nationwide picketing. The union says the statutory charges collected on airline tickets are meant to fund the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority and other aviation agencies, but have not been fully remitted by some operators. The workers warn that the non-remittance is starving aviation agencies of critical funds, affecting staff welfare and posing risks to the safety and security of Nigerian airspace. They say if the outstanding debts are not settled within 7 days ultimatum, they will begin industrial action at the premises of all defaulting organizations. With that business news, we need to go on a break now. But do remember, when we'll come back, more news as it concerns the foreign scene and the world of sport. Join us.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
The death toll from the powerful 7.1 magnitude earthquake in Japan, Kumamoto Prefecture, has risen to 13 as the rescue teams continue searching for survivors trapped beneath collapsed building. Now, emergency crews pulled more people from the rubble of a collapsed shopping mall, while eyewitness videos show part of the historic Kumamoto Castle stone wall crumbling during the quake. Now, the earthquake has also sent shoppers scrambling for safety, with customers seen taking cover inside the Muji store as the tremor struck. Authorities have developed, or rather deployed, rescue teams to affected areas and are continuing search and relief operation as aftershock raise concerns across southern Japan. Usou. Away from that, protesters gather in Washington to demonstrate against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's visit to the United States, voicing opposition to the government's Middle East policies and recent conflict with Iran. Now, the demonstrators criticized Israel's military actions and called for greater effort to rescue tensions across the region, with many urging United States leaders to reassess their support for the Israeli government. The protest comes as Netanyahu holds high-level meeting in Washington aimed at strengthening diplomatic and security ties between Israel and the United States.
Occupation of 78 years in Palestine. All of this is ridiculous. All of this is criminal.
He is the reason for the illegal war that has started on my homeland of Iran, that is also currently being bombarded. And every time he comes to visit, our people, our countries get bombarded again. And we are here to make sure that our voices are heard, and he knows that we don't want him here. He is not welcome here. We know that he's a war criminal. We want bombs to stop falling on our people.
We will never be silent.
He claims that all Jews support his movement and his actions, his crimes. And he misuses our religion and our identity to justify all these criminal actions. We say no. All of this, all that Israel stands for, is genocide in Gaza.
The security was heightened around key locations as demonstrators marched peacefully, carrying banners and chanting slogans against the Israeli Prime Minister's policies. Nigeria and Egypt has secured qualification for the 2026 ITTF World Youth Championship in Istanbul, Turkey, after impressive performance at the African Youth Championship in Accra, Ghana. Egypt qualified in the under-15 boys and girls category, as well as the under-19 girls event, while Nigeria booked Africans' remaining tickets in the under-19 boys category. ITTF African Deputy President Alfred Baguka praised the high standard of competition in Accra, noting that more teams participated and the tournament was more competitive than previous edition. Baguka also urged African players to aim higher on the global stage, expressing confidence that the continent's young talents can make a strong impact at the World Youth Championship in November. And still talking sport, defending champions, the Super Falcons suffered a shock 3-2 defeat to the tournament debutants, Malawi, in their opening match of the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations, with sisters Temwa and Tabitha Chiwinga inspiring the historic victory. Now, after a goalless first half, Temwa Chiwinga opened the scoring before Tabitha doubled Malawi's lead. Rajidat Ajibade pulled one back from penalty spot, but Tawa struck again before Uche Kanu scored a late consolation for Nigeria. The Super Falcons will now look to bounce back when they face Zambia, who began their campaign with a commanding 6-0 victory over Egypt. Meanwhile, Nigerians